Thank you for staying tuned. This is Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos, and it's time for Mainland Focus. Time check is 8:41 a.m. This is the part where we get to pick two or more major trending stories and flesh things out for you, our dear listener, to be a part of the conversation. We'll be opening the phone line very soon, but before then, I'd like to very quickly, introduce focal points for the day. My name is Omobola Sandra, and I have Fuad Sahid here with me as well in the studio. We're live on Facebook and YouTube, so in case you're unable to, put a phone call through, you can always drop your contributions on in the live chat section as comments on Facebook and YouTube. We're looking forward to that. So we're looking at, despite challenges, Nigerians still believe in democracy. That's the first one we're looking at. And the second is Labour threatening indefinite strike. They've given a 1 week ultimatum that if after 1 week there's still nothing to take home, there's going to be an indefinite strike, grounding all economic activities in the country. Well, I'll start with despite challenges, Nigerians still believe in democracy. We took the story from the Punch newspaper right there. So what do you consider the biggest challenge to democracy in Nigeria, and how can we make democracy really work for people in Nigeria? And do you support people who say there is nothing wrong with our democracy as it is still just evolving? As reported in the Punch, democracy in Nigeria has passed through major phases and developmental tests in over 2 decades. And despite its many challenges in the country, a new report titled Open Society Barometer indicates that democracy is still preferred by many citizens. Let us not forget that democracy has been defined, aside from the popular one, for the people, by the government of the people, for the people, by the people. Aside from that, also according to Britannica, it's a system of government in which laws, policies, leadership, and major undertakings of a state or other polity are directly or indirectly decided by the people. All right, it doesn't really take away a lot, but
it's still about the people.
It's still about the people. All right, and Nigeria has been enjoying democracy, we returned to democracy in 1999. So 3 decades of almost uninterrupted military rule. That was after 3 decades of uninterrupted military rule, and ever since then, democratic governance has passed through diverse challenges. Characterized by political competition, ethnic and religious clashes, resource allocation rivalries, human rights violations, electoral violence, corruption, and economic turmoil. So, do you agree that despite all of these challenges, Nigerians still believe in democracy? And what do you think is the biggest challenge to democracy in Nigeria? How do you think we can make Nigeria really work for the people? Because it is meant for the people, by the people, with the people involved, and with the people's interest being put first. And do you support people who say there is nothing wrong with our democracy? It just needs to evolve. All right. What are your thoughts? Let's have a conversation around our democracy in Nigeria. Secondly, we're looking at Labour is threatening indefinite strike, and this is barely 1 week after they led a 2-day nationwide warning strike. They're now saying that if the federal government fails to meet their demands at the end of all of this, warning strike, which approximately in a week's time, they're going to go on indefinite strike. And the proposed strike was necessary, according to them, following the failure of the federal government to provide palliatives to assuage the Nigerians' hardship as a result of all subsidy removal. Yes, rice is being shared. Yes, transport is being made available.
Which transport?
In some parts of the
country.
In some parts of the country. I have a report here that said that it said that somebody said he cannot go to work every day, and he said that even the bus that was provided for his area is an 18-seater bus, and they have over 50 staff living in that particular area. Kuje.
They should lap themselves.
Kuje in Abuja.
They can lap now.
They say what happens is that the senior staff gets preference
Imagine. And they don't even need that palliative. They should sort themselves out.
That's what he's saying. He's saying that the truth is the senior staff, they can do without this
fuel their car,
this free bus. But they just want to take the free bus. So the junior staff cannot enter the bus because according to this guy now, he said, I don't try
less confusion.
Because I don't want any senior staff to start talking to me anyhow.
So,
who are you? You are dragging seats with me. Well, the NLC, Nigerian Labour Congress, has said that as it is now, that the federal government has absconded and abandoned negotiation table. So,
you know sometimes when there's nothing to say, there's nothing to offer. And you go,
what are you saying?
That's rough.
So we're asking again, should the NLC come up with a different strategy in their negotiations with the government? Fuad said something earlier that this set of politicians are not the same. It's not business as usual. It's a different league.
These are not be local league.
It's Premier League or Champions
League.
Champions League. So, do you agree with Fuad that maybe there should be a different strategy on this rather than all these strike actions, or should you think the NLC should come up with a different strategy in their negotiations with the government? Do you think the government has been unfair in their negotiations with labor leaders? Because now we're hearing that they've absconded. They're not even there at all.
It's not now. There's nothing on the table.
Do you think the government has been unfair in their negotiations with labor leaders, or do you think that it is being do you think that as it is being demanded by the government, labor should be more patient? Do you think labor should just chill?
Calm down.
Chill. We'll do what needs to be done. This administration is less than 6 months in office, so maybe we should just chill and let them do what they need to do. Or do you consider the strike action a good strategy for NLC? Do you think is the way forward? Indefinite strike. I mean, it means a whole lot too. It means a lot of things.
Almost grounding the economy.
Yes, as it is now. So, Fuad, very quickly, so we can open up the phone line.
Democracy in Nigeria, again, is still the best form of government anywhere in the world, really. And I'll say that with all sense of emphasis, with so much emphasis as to the fact that, look, if people who can come together and make government work for themselves really would always get the dividends of democracy. That was the initial thinking. And I've always said it, democracy is not the problem. It's the way we practice democracy in Africa and by extension Nigeria that's the problem. The definition is simple. It's a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And what we have in Nigeria is not a functional democracy. It's a quasi-confused kind of democracy that only works for the few. It's called a gated democracy. Let me borrow the words of Barrister Curtis Adigba. A gated democracy where it's only the survival of the fittest or the privileged few or their cronies or business associates. Once you're able to pass through that gate, it's all well for you. Every other person can go and die. That's the kind of democracy we are practicing. Nobody cares. It's a democracy of a privileged few, and that is not, again, I said that's what democracy we should be very careful to misuse it. The kind of democracy we have in Africa is not the kind of democracy we should get, or that the report is talking about, that Nigerians prefer. Nigerians prefer a democracy where their lives are better. They see the dividends of democracy. Every 4 years, they can have an electoral process that guarantees that their rights and wishes will be respected. They want to live a better life. That's the kind of democracy Nigerians want, and they are not even getting it. And they may not get that kind of democracy until we begin to have an electoral process that produces leaders who will live for causes better, or who will live for causes other than their own personal interest. Sandra, when you see the stealing pattern of some of our leaders, you wonder, what else are you looking for? Like one of my friends will say, that, look,
am I looking for all the government,
the people in government? Like, when you see the stealing pattern, the kind of corruption you find around them, you want to ask yourself, what else are you looking for? Like a friend will say jokingly, one fear jobber, otun shawure, chauffeur Jᴏɪᴜ. You don't understand. You want to fear jobber, otun shawure, chauffeur Jᴏɪᴜ.
What's Awure?
Awure is when you do all these local things to get more money, get more wealth, or get riches.
Aside from being king, you still want to be more. Do you want to be God?
You want to be God? You are a governor already. There's security votes that you can do anyhow. Nobody questions you. There are a lot of resources available to you. At the end of the day, you are still stealing local government money. You are still. Is that not the problem? So you ask yourself, is there a problem somewhere? Is it a mental health issue? Because you sit back and wonder what are they looking for again. Everything is available to them. But the little that should go to the people, they still eat rice. You can't share. Ordinary rice you can't share again.
So how is okay?
All right. So the issue of the labor, honestly, if strike is going to help the government to listen to them, so be it. It's within their rights. It's within the rights of any organized labor organization to down tools if they want their employers to listen to them. And I agree that the government has not been fair in this negotiation. I think they're just playing games with them. I think the best thing the government can do to show their seriousness is to list all of the demands of labor and put a response to it, actionable response to it. And when I say response, for example, let us even just take the issue of minimum wage. The government should come out and say what they want to pay. Should be suffer an acceptance. The labor has demanded that, they want 200,000 minimum wage.
That's the purpose of negotiation.
But the government is not putting anything on the table. That's what the labor. Every time you go into the meeting with them, that's what Ajero is saying. They assure you that, be patient. We are doing something. Something will come very soon. They set up committees. Committees are not even meeting. There's supposed to be a committee to get all of these plans actionable and make it work. The what's it called? The minimum wage committee has not even met with labor. The government is not even putting anything on the table in this negotiation. So, so again, I just think the labor leaders need to sit back, put on their thinking cap. Like I said, this is a different league. It's Champions League. It's not So I think they have to come up with a better strategy.
Thank you very much, Sahid Fuhad. Well, that's his own contribution. Those are his own thoughts. Let's get to hear from your own angle. What are your thoughts as regards the focus for this morning? We're having a conversation as regards democracy and also post-subsidy talks. NLC is threatening indefinite strike and saying that the government has absconded from it's the word for me. I'm sorry. It's the government has absconded from negotiation from negotiation table. So 0913 6000 410 0913 6000 410. That's the number to call. For text messages and WhatsApp messages is 0913 6000 430. 0913 6000 430. And we're live on Facebook and YouTube, so please drop your comments in the live chat section as well. Do well to like, follow, share, everything. Just let's set the agenda. Let's have a conversation that sets the agenda for a better Nigeria. That's what we do here. This is Mainland 98.3 FM. You have just 2 minutes. Please, let's stick within the time limit. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes.
Ajibola from Ikola.
Okay, please go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Ford.
Good morning, sir.
Why Nigeria? Let us be straight. Let us be forward. Don't let us just call. Let us call the spade a spade. Our leaders are really in one problem that is unknown. So if they are thinking of democracy, there is no kind of government that will not work if there is rule of law. But if you look at what is happening in this country, you see somebody that is twinkling rich that can never be poor in the next 100 years. We still be lobbying for work, and they still be pushing you up and down because of a post that your generation to come will not even think to benefit from it. So that's why you will think that it's like something spiritual is even happening to us. This is not democracy. That's just the fact. This is not democracy.
So what do you think? Do you think we should give it time for it to
talks about
evolve?
Rule of law. You just mentioned rule of law.
The rule of law. That's the answer. Okay. If there's no rule of law, we are not moving anywhere. Let the judiciary take their position. When we are talking of democracy, the rule of law is very, very important, very, very paramount. Right. You just see the NLC. They can't do anything. They just go conjure one nonsense court injunction and tell them that this is within their right. Police will do anyhow. The last one will do anyhow, and they will just do above their own jurisdiction. Everything is just going upside down, and you think the economy will work like that? No.
All right, Ajibola.
Thank you, Ajibola. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's okay. 0913 6000 410. That person shares the same thought pattern with Damlola from Alaba. 0913 6000 410. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sandra. It's okay.
It's all right.
Good morning, Mr. Jᴏ from Mobile.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yes, you have said it all, just like you have been doing. This is no democracy, quasi democracy. That's what we are practicing. It's not only rule of law. democracy without element of check and balances is not democracy. These are the tools that make democracy works. Because the people we have now, look at 100 million naira for lawmakers. A bag of rice for 20 or 30 people. Are the lawmakers vulnerable? Maybe they say palliatives are meant for the vulnerable, Sabi. Are the lawmakers vulnerable ones?
They said to make their work easy. You remember when the money was given to them?
Make their work easy. With their emolument and the salary they are collecting up to about 8 to 9 million naira per month, with all these furniture allowances, with the car allowances, 100 million naira again, and we are not able to get up to 30,000 naira as salary workers. So this is I won't blame the government. I will blame Labour, because Labour has been inconsistent in their performance over the years, and that's why people are blaming them. If strike is the only tools they will use to put the government on their feet, let it be. Good morning.
All right. Good morning. Thank you very much, Mr. John. Appreciate. Hello. Good morning.
Sandra, I greet you.
I greet you too, Mr. Kangbelina.
Mr. Fuad, morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
I think the major challenge that we have in Nigeria is leadership recruitment. If we don't solve that problem, let's not talk about democracy, because when we talk about leadership recruitment, what are we talking about? Do we even have a strong INEC? Is INEC independent? Where when during election, somebody can just impose his will on the people. Look, okay, let's look at the Rivers State. The former governor who is a minister now. It is the person he wanted that he put there as this thing. The person that is there now. He's the one that put the person. He decided who was going to succeed, and that's what happened. He decided who was going to win the presidential election, and that's what happened. So is that what we call democracy? Look at an INEC that they'll do everything, all the rigging. They'll still declare the person that they like as the president. Me, I didn't vote during the last election. I didn't vote. Some talks said I should not vote, and that happened all over the place.
And you listen to them?
Why are you listening to them?
They were holding knives and guns and broken bottles. What do you want me to do? You want me to die?
Yeah, of course.
I'm not going to die now. I have to run away to my house. So if we don't check this kind of things that are happening during election, unpopular leaders will pop up and they will continue to rule over us. And that's what's happening. That's why there's discontent all over the place. And then we talk about labor people. You told us that time that if you want to go on strike, you will not announce. So why are you now announcing you're giving them deadline or whatever?
Ultimately,
they will just go on strike the next time. So that's what we expect them to do. If you want to go on strike, just get up the next morning, we'll hear that you're on strike. That's all.
Okay.
Stop telling us about 1 week, 2 weeks, something.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kangbelina. I appreciate. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
This is Charles from Ojualaba.
All right.
What is there is that our democracy, I really not see anything happen in our democracy. Yes. Based on the laws that favors the politician. When we start having laws like China, when you steal from the government purse, they kill you and stuff like that, then you see our politicians start sitting up. You understand me? When we start having laws, when we start paying our politicians just like civil servants, you see all this corruption, it will reduce. And that of the MLC, I don't know. These people, they are just playing. Mr. Fuad said it all. These people just go on strike. You know, if the government don't listen, they shouldn't call the strike. Go on strike. Because nothing is happening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. Hello. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm on the line.
Paul
Yeah.
from VI.
Yeah, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Thank you for your impeccable and very vocal and unbiased analysis consistently.
Thank you.
So, the issue of labor, we cannot continue to repeat one matter every day.
You go strike, government will trace everything, you will call off strike and so on. It cannot work. If you want to embargo, don't tell us. And where is industrial court and all these things? I think they ask them not to go on strike. There's a law there banning labor from embarking on strike. These are the issues. What we have here, government of the politician, by the politician and for politician and their supporters. Because their supporters, anything government does, they will justify it. It's okay. That is their duty. And in terms of judiciary, any country where judiciary is in politics, that country is in trouble. Because you cannot tell their true accountability. For if I'm asking, does it mean that when a governor or a president leave office, did they still have natural immunity?
No, no more immunity.
Because they have natural immunity. You will start to take possibilities from the top. If we continue to send president to jail, governors to jail, if after the investigation find culpable, send them to jail. Because this is not there. That is why they are law to call it. That's not like what you said. You collect revenue, IGR, you collect from federal, everything and then nothing.
Right.
You cannot be able to pay salary. I don't get it.
Thank you.
And you say, this is democracy, we are moving forward. Until we have been calling about how to organize the country because I don't want to use the word restructure. Some people are against that.
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
They don't want.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. 0913-6000-410. That's the number to call for text messages, and WhatsApp messages is 0913-6000-430. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, so feel free to drop your comments in the live chat section as well. I have some messages here on Facebook. Oluwamuyiwa Olodude is saying the labor union should invent a potent tool to drive home their demands rather than the current federal government. Apologies, no. Now that the federal government is a master schemer, our democracy is stone dead. The government careless about the welfare of the people. A government that mocks the people at all levels. God save us. Thank you very much, Oluwamuyiwa. And we also have Christ Paul saying, good morning, Sandra and Fuad. Politicians are playing with the future and destinies of Nigerians.
Don't give them my
No, my
destiny.
destiny.
Don't give them your destiny.
But we will not let them
Man is an architect of his own destiny. Just take your
No,
destiny.
no.
From, give it to politician.
My destiny is safe.
It's not with them.
It's not with them. Thank you very much. 0913-6000-410. Please, you have just 2 minutes. Share your thoughts and let's move on to the next call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Omobola.
Good morning, Pastor Ambrose.
That prompts me to talk because I like objectivity. If I was able to, even if he's doing well in some areas, be able to pinpoint the areas where he is not doing well. This democracy is not just like Fuad said, it's all about them and the people who are supposed to challenge them. So you should wait the first 4 years. And then when you waste it another 4 years again, that was sitting me for the opening time. I want Mr. President to succeed. I don't care where it comes from. But as we are talking today, Mr. President, you have not been able to touch the lion's tail. You have not taken critical decisions. The way you are going to is like your style. It's like, let me, subsidize on some areas. How can ᴄᴏᴜᴜ be in jail and the Minister of Humanitarian Resources is going about it? When ᴄᴏᴜᴜ said it was the woman that told him, President Buhari that told him that she should be printing 500 million naira and be given to that woman. The NLC issue, okay. I'm telling you, on this Jᴏɪᴜ, if you know him, he was very hot. This government knows the game. If democracy work, it works for all of us. If it does not work, it's not going for all of us. I want this government to succeed. I want naira to sell for $1. That is my prayer. And the moment Mr. President begins to talk that line, I will begin to appraise him. But for now, Nigerians are suffering. No life, no fuel, no good education, no good health, no good road. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Pastor Ambrose. I appreciate it as well. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Ifi.
Now. Good morning, Farad.
Good morning, ma.
I don't have much to say. NLC, don't go for any side because you people are not one. The other time you wanted to go for strike, PUC came out and said no. So you should know what is happening. Stop it, don't disturb us. The hunger, the distress, the discomfort, the unpalatable life we are living in this country is enough. Don't go for any side. Leave us and our God. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Madam Ifi. All right. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Sandra.
I heard you, super. Please speak louder.
Yeah. Okay. How far are you hearing now?
Yes.
Better.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Farag, good morning, sir.
Morning.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Farag, for your objective. We uplift you and we give you all the desire. You see, the democracy we are running is never a functional democracy, like you rightly said. It is not a functional democracy. It is not the democracy Nigeria wants. So I'm appealing to Nigerians now. We should now rethink ourselves. You know, whether we will go ahead with this democracy that is making us poorer. Because what we are facing now is making us poorer. There's no middleman again. The lower people, everybody is devastated. You know, if you want 20,000 naira, you bought petrol. You know, at the end of the day, you don't even know where the 20,000 went to. So they're making us poorer. And like I said, you see, President Tinubu, if he mean well for this country, is to come on and sanitize Nigeria first. That is what China did. So, you remember what the question the CEO of India of a motor company asked our president when he went to him in India, he said to come and invest here. He told him categorically clear that he was making a proposal, but your bureaucracy in your system. You understand? Your bureaucracy in your system. He mentioned it to him, and that is who the civil servant. A lot of things is wrong in this country, and that is why you are wasting your time in going to abroad. Come and sanitize this country first. That is what China did. China will want anybody in the civil servant. If you steal anyone naira, you are going, you are fire. You are fire. Fire squad. Sanitize this country first. We have a lot to do here. No investor will come to this country without no sanity. That is my appeal to him. I wish him success, but he cannot sanitize this country. Security-wise, kidnapping, everything, is here. You understand? We are not happy. You understand? So let me now come to NLC. NLC.
2 minutes.
NLC has a problem.
Okay.
Ajero has been in this system for a long time, and they have built their credibility. NLC is supposed to bail us out in this issue. Why not everybody will follow them? But they have built their credibility. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Alhaji Super. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. Hello, good morning.
Well, I used to tell you something. Posterity will judge you right. And some of our callers, some, not all, posterity will judge them right. You see, I have been to other places who practice democracy by the grace of God. And I can tell you for free, those who handle offices there are the people who have the interest of the people at heart. The people who love their country, patriotic citizens. Those are the people who handle democracy offices in other places. But what do we have here? We have demigods. People who want to dethrone God and become God in the name of democracy here in Nigeria. People who steal what they don't want. People who take what they don't need. People who begin to build what they don't need. They just want to acquire at the detriment of their citizens in the name of democracy, in the name of being in power. I don't call them leaders. I just call them occupiers. They occupy offices that do not know anything about it. when you see people who run other countries of the world in democratic offices, they are there for the interest of their people first. But what do we have here? We have people, them, their family, their pets, and nothing else. Every other citizens paid some people to manipulate their brains. That is what we are getting here. They began to manipulate the media, they began to manipulate the citizens, and began to tell us that whatever we are facing, it is being faced by other countries of the world. But in reality, it is a lie. They will tell you that inflation is all over the world, but it's a lie. They will tell you that the powers outlays other countries of the world, but in reality, is a lie. They will tell you that the infrastructure deficit is all over the world, but in reality, is a lie. So, Nigeria, democracy is the best. But let's fish for the people who have the interests of the masses at heart. Those who will not see what they don't need. Those who will begin to build houses they will not live on. Okay? So let's begin to look for those who have the interests of the people at heart. And those who are in journalism should know that they are the eye and ears of the people. Because when you listen to some media houses, you see some of their presenters speaking from the both sides of their mouth. You know? And when you look at them very well, I don't know if they are under the payroll of some politicians, or did they have the interest of the people at heart? Thank you very much, and God bless you. Mainland FM, God will bless you.
6,410. This is Mainland 98.3 FM, and you're on to Mainland Focus. We are having a conversation as regards democracy in Nigeria, and also Labour Labour threatening an indefinite strike. I can't get over the fact that they said that the federal government has absconded from the negotiation table. So what's the way
when we are
forward?
negotiating, there's nothing to give to you. I don't go in Japa. I would rather abscond that.
But at least be there.
To tell you what? Just be there for me.
The Ngigis of this one, they were there, even if they were just
for 8 months. With like Asu.
They were there.
And they did do something. See the way they just dribbled Asu.
That was painful.
Very painful. Really.
Let's take some and of personal gains from the organization. So now no one cares if they're embarking on strike anymore. I think the way forward for the country now is the masses. When they are ready to take back their country, all will rise up. Because how many are these spoilers and this organized set of politicians that's been holding Nigerians at the jugular? Chika Bende from Trade Fair. Thank you. Good morning, Sandra and Fuad. Fuad, sincerely with your analysis, I am swept off my feet each time I listen to you.
Stand strong.
It's okay. I just want to say, keep it up. I off my heart. God bless you. And that's James from Agbado Junction. Thank you very much, Mr. James. I appreciate. I also have Adeni Olarinwaju. I love the intelligence both of you put into this program.
Thank you.
Somebody remembered me today. Sorry. For every game, there is a strategy. NLC had not exhibited the capacity to handle the mercurial, Maradonic leadership in power today.
Who is that person?
It's all right. Additional Olarinwaju.
It's additional words.
He's saying, and I'm continuing. I suggest you hire Said Fuad for strategic handling of the situation.
I'm not a labor leader.
He knows Asiwaju inside out.
No, for me.
As a non-docile negotian. Fuad, people are bringing your secrets out.
I don't know where this man is coming from.
Should we start investigating you? Should I hire a special investigator for you? Well, that's Additional Olarinwaju on Facebook. I also have Eke Kelechi Tony saying, good morning, Sandra, and for democracy in Nigeria is not what the definition of democracy should be at all. A country where votes do not count, government doesn't listen to its citizens, the judiciary is not left out in the deceit. Even the labor unions are not serious at all. How long will they warn the federal government before they swing into action? Tony from Imo State. Thank you very much, Mr. Tony. We appreciate. Sean Johnson also is saying the level of politics in Nigeria and corruption is on another level. The gap between the rich and the poor is on the highest level of elasticity, where the poor are almost not in existence, and the middle class are now the poor. The Nigerian economy of economics. The circular flow of income is in the reverse. Income flows from the government and gets back to the government.
It's not flowing.
There's not flowing.
It's static. That means it's static.
That means it's static. How is it flowing and coming back? What's happening? And without almost not reaching the consumers due to crude policies. If Labour wants to go on strike, let them go. And that's Sean Johnson sharing his own thoughts. I also have here James Ogbonna. This is quite very lengthy.
You read it.
Sandra and distinguished Mr. Ford, I greet you ceremoniously. I wanted to call, but it seems some of us are only destined to get through our messages. Uncle Ford is not all that bad. It's not all bad. Some government agencies are working without corruption. Do you know I applied for business registration? A business name was reserved for me. I registered, paid the mandatory fee, got my registration certificate, everything in less than 24 hours without leaving my house. Everything through my smartphone. I didn't pay any extra money. Mr. Ford, I applied for business tin from FIRS last week. I got my tax certificate yesterday from their office free of charge. I didn't give any official any tip. Even what the Interior Minister is doing with passport and the immigration service is how democracy should work. If government officials if government agencies and public officials will be put on their toes, be fired for laziness, we'll begin to enjoy the dividends of democracy. But it is not all bad as it seems. I want to thank those federal government agencies like CAC and FIRS because they have served me well. Sandra, I give up on the contacts I need because I won't be holding that program this year. I hope it's not because we'll call you later, James Ogbonna. All right, let's go back to the full lines. 0913 6000 410. Hello, good morning.
Hello,
Good morning, sir.
Sandra, good morning. This is Comrade Colin from Alimosha.
All right, sir.
Okay.
Democracy. I don't see anything wrong with our democracy here in Nigeria. The only problem we are having is leadership problem. The leaders that have decided to make themselves God on another people. The people that you can imagine what happened in Ogun State. Look at how family men lying down, prostrating for just one governor. They have taken, the governor is now taking a state as a country that everybody in that country must rely on them, must depend on them. It means that the people are still dependent in their own state. That is not what we call democracy, and it's a leadership problem. So I think our leaders need to do things right. Even when we talk about democracy, President Tinubu was among the people that started democracy since 1999. Up till date, he's still in government up till date. And yet, what is the improvement of democracy in Nigeria? After 2014, Nigeria was third developing country all over the world. Today, we are capital poverty of the world. Is that what we call democracy in Nigeria? And yet, there are some people that are still supporting this set of leadership that they are still the best. God will help us in this Nigeria. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate your contribution. Hello, good morning.
Only to you, my brother Sandra.
Good morning, Prince Wise.
Good morning, Prince Wise.
Only to you.
Good morning, sir.
God bless you all and bless your management.
Amen.
You see, we made that mistake in 1979 where we adopt this type of democracy. Too expensive and still of corruption. It's right. We need parliamentary system. Never Congress. We want strike. That is not the issue now. This Jᴏɪᴜ is maybe it's a politician and he politicize all the issue. If the new minister called you for a meeting last week, you see you should attend the meeting and the Labour government stay away. When minister is not in place, you complain. Minister is in place and call you for a meeting, you abandon the meeting and you are talking of strike. And they want to punish Nigeria. What I'm talking about? That's a lot to do. They do this. Look today now. We in Lagos, we are talking of harassing us. And this NIGERIANS is a member of Nigeria Labour Congress. What is bad in this man? The Labour Congress will meet the Mr. Governor.
this NWGs is terrorizing my worker, my people. Do something about them. He never do that. There's a lot of work for them to do. Yeah, you are talking of minimum wage. It is 2 years that we recommend 40,000. The NSC, they never say anything. The TUC is taking time up there if they don't know. At the end of the day, if they are not taking Nigeria with stagnant, NSC will be working with TUC. They better buckle up and do the right thing to save Nigeria and to save the worker. Good morning to you, Sandra.
Good morning, too. Thank you, Prince Wise. Appreciate. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning to you, Mr. Fuad and Sandra.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Pastor Sunday from Magbury.
Oh, Pastor Sunday.
Are we practicing a participatory
democracy? It's about the people.
And if that is the case, and I think we are needing policies that affect our lives.
True, yes.
Almost everybody that get there, they not behave like demons.
Let's be careful, with our words, Pastor Sunday. I appreciate it. Please.
Almost, not almost. Okay. You see why I'm saying so? Because sometimes when you see a good person, by the time he gets in that office, he behaves a different way.
Okay.
So, I really believe that the people that we are having now should be able to think right and do the right thing for us in Nigeria. Even as a pastor, I know what they are going through. We pray that things will get better in Nigeria. But what we are seeing now is that we are not taking part in what is happening in Nigeria. So I pray, even the labor that want to go on strike, I don't believe them because they are bed on the same shoulder. So we pray God to intervene on our behalf. Thank you. God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate saying good morning, Sandra and Fuad. The crop of politicians we have in Nigeria today cannot take us anywhere. They don't respect rule of law and they don't plan before they make decisions. They are only ruling on trial and error. On NLC, the current leadership of NLC is weaker compared to the time of Oshiomhole. But what's the way forward? He didn't answer that. But thank you. Prince Leo Ozoma, democracy remains the best form of government where power resides with the people and the rule of law is the guide. But in Nigeria, it was deliberately skewed not to work for the people, rather for the feudal lords who have tactically divided the people through religious and tribal affiliations.
I agree.
And the people fell flat for it to their detriment. And until the people realize that they hold the power, then they will begin to enjoy the true test of dividends of democracy. For NLC, they need to go back to the drawing board to find out how they'll be able to win the people back to their side, because they can't make any meaningful positive impact. Otherwise, the government will continue to win over them. Good morning, and thanks for your wonderful analysis that I call my morning tonic. Leo Ozoma, thank you very much. Appreciate. Akile Olaolu Hezekiah. Good morning, wonderful presenter and analyst. Living dog is better than a dead lion. Yes, we might not have gotten it right in politics today, but with time we shall get there. I just want to advise all that have good things in mind for the country to join political parties. In due time, they will reach the top to right the wrong. Alagbad. Okay. Someone did get better, but it's getting worse. I remember one of the undergraduate students of microbiology carrying out his research on a particular company, and he discovered the products were not good for human consumption. And he wanted to publish it, and he was shot to death on his way back to school, and no one did anything about it. So where are we heading to? Seriously, I'm tired. Joshua from Oregon. Those are very strong.
Let's keep the hope alive.
Yeah. Okay, so the banter between Apostle Ezekiah and Okumonesioko Theophilus is still interesting. Things are still happening there. You can get more details there. Let's wrap things up. Let's take this one call. Hello, good morning. Just a minute.
Good morning, Sandra. My name is Benjamin. I'm calling from
they still have ends that made all of this. Let us desire. We'll be talking international stories, but by the next show, trust me, it will be back on, so you can send in your WhatsApp messages. But thank you for once again.
Thank you for having me.
My name is Omobola Sandra, and